Afternoon, everybody. Michelle is here on this Tuesday, August the 18th, 2026. Afternoon on this warm day outdoors. I don't know if I told you, and I'm sure I did. I love being outdoors. But it's been this particular summer has been intense. I don't remember the previous summers being so intense, but at the same time, uh, I know what's going on. I can tell. I mean, where I am right now, um, it's a cause and effect. Okay, the trees have been knocked down. They're developing, and they are under this delusion that it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. We have all of this. Just imagine being in a desert and you building and building and developing and developing. Okay, what about the water? What about the trees, the biodiversity? So there's going to be a lot of catastrophic events happening because of the lack of proper planning. And this has been going on for decades upon decades upon decades. The Hoover Dam. Have you all researched the Hoover Dam and the crisis at the Hoover Dam? That's going to start happening at other so-called man-made dams. Where they are interfering and invading the flow of the water, the flow of the rivers. Da 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 da. It's. I mean, the writings on the wall. Again, you can plant trees until the cows come home, but trees have to be properly planted in the right type of environment, and that's not happening, unfortunately, because um, this heat towards me, this year has been so intense that it was causing pain. So that's why I had to stop working outdoor. I'm sorry, uh, exercising in certain areas. Doing my exercise. I had to just be creative, and do my exercise in other means, by any means necessary, indoors, more specifically, because again out here it's just I'm out here doing something today because it's not as intense, the heat, but it's intense. And we have to think about what's causing all of this. Okay. I used to hear global warming for decades. I used to hear climate change for decades upon decades upon decades. Well, it's now destruction. All you have to do is look at the weather patterns all over the planet. The flooding, none of this stuff is coincidental. It's cause and effect. Cause and effect. Consequences. And I told you about how this particular city, and it's just like this in all other cities, especially major cities all over the country, where they're doing all of this paving of roadways. Who knows what type of material they're using, because it doesn't last. And I told you how people were getting all up in arms about potholes. Well, and that was all clickbait. All that rambling and carrying on about potholes is due to climate destruction, infrastructure destruction. It has nothing to do with this or that or the other. The material that they're using, of course, is age-old products and substance that they know. That's the part that bothers me. They know it's not going to withstand this constant footprints or vehicles on the roadway. It's the vehicles, the excessive amount of vehicles, equipment, toys, blah, 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 blah. That's due to overpopulation of people, equipment, vehicles, materialism. So the potholes will never, that issue will never be solved. And that's the whole idea. because that is what keep those companies in business. If they solve the pothole issue, if they solve the infrastructure issue, if they solve the roadway issue, okay, but the issue isn't the objective is not to solve it. The objective is not to resolve it. It's to continue to charge these cities, counties, states with all this money. It's greed. It's nothing more, nothing less than greed. All right, that math adds up. It's greed. Okay, if they solve the problem, then that eliminates their stream of income, their stream of finances. It's like that with everything that we are encountering, and I'm so thankful because a lot of people are picking that up. Some of the things I talk about are not popular topics. Nope, because a lot of people get offended. They take things on personally, and I've said this from the beginning. You have to suspend your ego. You have to suspend your beliefs. You have to suspend your personal emotions about things. Otherwise, you're just going to keep getting offended, and you're just going to keep moving on and doing the same thing. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then you're wondering, okay, why am I still in the same spot? Even though there may be circumstances around me that's different, I'm still dealing with my weight. I'm still dealing with my finances. I'm still dealing with my emotions. I'm still dealing with my childhood. Even though I'm almost 60, 70 years old, I'm still dealing with issues from my childhood. A lot of people get all up in arms about that. When you point out to them, why are you still dealing with childhood issues? Have you not resolved it? Have you not solved it? Do you want to? So a lot of people get up in arms about that and get upset when you point these kind of things out. And I'm telling you, do you want permanent peace? Do you want permanent happiness? Okay, evolving your consciousness will do that. Because you're talking about a wholeness of who you are, what you are, and why you are. You'll be able to deal with these catastrophic events that's going on around us. And you're not so self-absorbed. You're not so self-absorbed about yourself, and you look at the planet. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. You'll look at the planet, and you'll look at more than just yourself. We're all energy, as I said. We are a collective of energy, and there's no way that you can evolve that type of energy when you're just self-absorbed thinking about yourself. You're not going anywhere. You think that if you remain self-absorbed about yourself, you're not developing. So all you're doing is spinning. But you feel like, okay, it's all about me. It's all about me. No. You know that it's not true. You know that you're stuck. You know that you're spinning. Even when people get to these desired goals that they have, they still feel empty. Because you have to take it off the self-absorption. You have to take it off of you. And understand that this is a complete wholeness. So that means you take care. Once you look at it from that perspective, expansion of it all, it's about planet Earth. Okay, planet Earth is why you are able right now to be alive. A lot of people are going to lose their lives over catastrophic weather events, which were man-made. We caused all of this. Okay, the trees didn't knock themselves down. Logging, just clearing out land of trees that have been there hundreds. That bothers me more than anything, because those trees help us breathe. Okay, and those trees would have protected us from this catastrophic events that are happening with people revving their engines and causing all this disturbances to the climate, more so to the flora and fauna, to the birds. A lot of people are revving their engines and causing all this disturbance and pollution because they're angry. And mostly they are mediocre men doing that, by the way, of all walks of life. These mediocre, angry men are angry Usually with the biological, usually they're angry because of the biological woman. They're blaming the biological woman for their issues. So they're just revving their engines, causing all of this pollution and the inability to breathe. Whereas the trees would have protected us from that. The trees would have protected us from that pollution, but the damage has been done. So a lot of people are going to have respiratory issues. A lot of people are going to have this inability to properly breathe. And that's going to affect the whole planet. This is going to affect the children, the descendants. So I'm thankful that a lot of people are figuring this stuff out. They're looking at the wholeness. They're not looking at individual aspects. They're bringing this math problem as a wholeness. It all correlates. Okay? We have to protect planet Earth. First and foremost. Because once we do that, planet Earth will protect us. Okay, without the protection of planet Earth, we're all doomed. And sadly, because of what we've allowed to happen over the course of decades upon decades, centuries, millennia, we're now dealing with the consequences. We're dealing with the cause and effect. There's no reason why it should be so loud out when you're outdoors. And no reason for it to be so loud when you're indoors. You can do all the insulation that you want. And, as I said before, when I had my house, I insulated that house as best I could. And, of course, you want to hear certain things going on. You don't want to be completely blocked in. But I'm talking about this revving of engines, this loudness, unnecessarily man-made loudness and destruction. And just, it's an angriness that's coming from these mediocre men. They want to disturb people. They want to bother people. They cannot handle being ignored. They cannot handle that when people are just not paying them any attention. And that's what's happening with a lot of biological women. They're just not paying attention to these mediocre men, and that makes them angry. So they're gonna cause some destruction. That's what they do. That's what the mediocre man does, is cause destruction and anger, violence. Okay, that's why you find them starting these fires all over the country. Yes, a lot of those fires are events, but they're all man-made. Every single one of those fires, whether it's the Paradise Fire, those fires in California, Canada, all over the country, are man-made. Man caused that. Human beings caused that. Not Mother Earth. Don't blame Mother Earth. Mother Earth provided us with everything we needed. We disregarded, ignored. Now the tables are turned. And it's going to be catastrophic. Okay? Where are we going? What other planet are we going to? We can't go to Mars. We can't go to the moon. Because those areas are just as barren. I know there's a lot of activity going on the moon. A lot of activity possibly going on Mars. But at the same time, keep in mind, there's only a handful of people that can get to those places. Okay? And we know 10 billion of us are not headed to Mars or headed to the moon anytime soon. Okay? There's going to be a catastrophic events that's going to wipe out a lot of, just going to wipe out the planet. And then we'll just see who survives. Who, what, when, where survives. And who's going to restore this planet. This is the events I'm talking about are, 100, 200, 300, 1,000 years in advance. But listen to what I'm saying here. Listen to what I'm saying. We are energy. When I pass away, I pass the baton over to someone completely different who will not remember me, but they will have the essence of me, the essence of my previous personalities. So there's going to be a knowing. That person that I'm passing the baton on is going to have the knowing of that we caused this, and they're going to have to struggle to survive on this planet based on what we've done. So they're going to have possibly short lives, but you're going to know. You're going to have a knowing. You're going to have an awareness that, just imagine right now, I'm sitting here and I'm talking about all of these things, and deep down within, I have a knowing about something, about events, about this and that. But it's not that I'm remembering anything, it's the essence of what I'm experiencing. And it adds up. If you're logical, rational, and reasonable, it adds up that humans caused this. Not Mother Earth. Mother Earth did everything that Mother Earth was supposed to do. We disregarded it. We ignored it. We pushed the boundaries. We went extreme. We went fanatical. So in other words, you're not escaping anything via death. Listen to what I just said. Just because you pass away doesn't mean that you're not going to be dealing with these events in the future as someone completely different, completely like as yourself. Okay, as I sit here and talk to you, I have a million years or more of other personalities that have culminated the essence of who I am, what I am, and why I am, because we're all energy. And that's why certain people continue for lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes, continue to resonate towards a criminal negative energy. Why? Because their previous personalities were dealing with criminal negative energy, and so that energy is so intense that they continue to congregate towards it. Criminal negative energy. If you look at us as energy, and if you understand logical, rational, and reasonable, you understand physics. Energy. That's why we have this criminal negative energy. The atom turned into atomic bombs. That's the process that, if you look at it from a human standpoint. Okay, as humans, we started as a bacteria, and then we cultivated it into humans. So if you look at the process of life via trees, via flowers, flora and fauna, they start as bacteria, right? Life. So just please educate yourself on the best you can. I would start with physics, but a lot of you can't read or write. Sadly, a lot of people cannot read or write, understand or comprehend. But those of you that can, you're the ones that I resonate with, whether you listen to my videos or not. Keep that in mind. It's about the energy, the sounds and tones. That is what you're resonating with. You can care less about my videos. Honestly, you can care less about all of that. You're resonating with my sounds and tones, which is energy. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop this right now. I got some stuff to do in here. I got some stuff to do outside. But I think it's maybe too hot for that. So I'll just have to postpone that until, the temperatures, the temperatures calm down a little. And because it is about safety too. Be safe in these environments. Be safe. It's not business as usual. Okay? Peace and love. And trust me, I will be back.